I've heard it said that when you get to the end of the road, there's a good chance that you'll find an ADRA project.
And we are literally at the end of the road and we're still not there. We've still got another 2 hours to go. We're going to get on a watercraft called a bunka boat and get to our next project, our ADRA project, which is on a remote island.
So come and join us as we discover how ADRA Canada is changing lives in a small little remote fishing village in the Philippines. Let's go.
Let's go. Welcome back to It Is Written Canada. We made it here after that amazing crossing of the ocean to Samaoi, this little barangay on this island. And we are here with Steve Matthews, who is the CEO of ADRA Canada, and also Teresa Ferreira, who's with Philanthropy and Marketing at ADRA Canada. And you've brought us all the way over here to show us around and show us the projects that you are doing in this area.
Steve and Teresa, thank you so much for inviting Mike and I with you on this amazing trip to see what ADRA Canada is doing in this remote village.
Yeah, and thanks so much for taking the time out of your schedule to be able to join us as well. It's a real pleasure to have both of you here to see the work that we're doing in the field.
Steve, I guess to begin with you, tell us about what has happened in this area. You've been here for like a decade, like about more than 10 years.
Yeah, so this barangay that we're working in here and a number of other ones in the area were first part of our Embrace project. And the Embrace project was a 4-year project where we basically focused on a number of different things from basically women and children, maternal health, helping to work with nutrition, helping to ensure that safe deliveries of children, making sure that women could get to birthing facilities within time, so they're not having to have them in the village, that sort of thing. So really trying to work on that side of things, and then just the importance of the first 1,000 days of life of a child, and why it's so important to have good high nutrition in an area where stunting and malnutrition was actually quite significant.
So that's starting with conception all the way to first 3 years.
Yes.
The life of the child, making sure that health is taken care of.
Absolutely. And then now the project that we're here visiting now is the Together project, which is building on the foundation of that project of Embrace. Both projects are funded by the Canadian government, and through that support we've been able to continue this work here in the community.
Teresa, could you elaborate and explain to us more about the Together project?
Sure. So back in 2013, we had an emergency response here in the Philippines. Through that emergency response, it enabled us to seek out remote areas and the most vulnerable in those areas, and then to come alongside and do actual community personal development programs and projects. With that, we were able to start the Embrace project. Beyond Embrace, we have now gone into Together, and this is a 6-year project. Together in particular, it focuses on what we did in Embrace, but then it goes a step further and actually looks at adolescents and desiring for them to make positive changes and choices in their lives, specifically connected to preventing teen pregnancy, preventing early marriage, for the health of the girl, as well as focusing on gender-based violence. And so we desire, more than anything, for them not to just have the tools in their belt to make these choices, but to empower them that these are wise, healthy choices for them as well as the health of the community. So that's together.
So I just have to ask, Steve, why such a remote location? Why does ADRA go to such remote places on the planet?
Well, typically what we find are people that live in those remote communities are often some of the most vulnerable people in the world. They don't have access to services. Oftentimes governments aren't even able to provide services to people in those communities, which results in that vulnerability being there. So that's where ADRA comes in, is to really try to bridge that gap and be able to help in communities where services may be a lot more limited than you would have in more major centers, easier to get to regions. So that's a real big factor behind why we select places like this beautiful area that we've traveled to 2 hours beyond the end of the road.
Yeah, and it's quite a close-knit community. I could see that just from when we got off the boat. They were there with signs and saying, "Welcome, ADRA Canada," and just, you know, embracing us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're obviously so grateful for the work that you are doing over here. If you have the whole village with their beautiful signs welcoming you to come and, you know, welcoming you, yeah. So.
And when you talk to the people, you're going to see such an authentic appreciation, right? That they see a difference, they feel a difference, and they desire more than anything for us to continue, right? To be here with them. But at the same time, we see them own it. It becomes theirs, right? And so it's beautiful.
And that's where it really comes into a partnership.
Yes.
Because we're able to partner with the local communities, not just with the community members, but also with, you know, the local governments, and really come together to help make a real positive change in the communities we work in.
Well, Steve and Teresa, we are really looking forward to meeting some of these people and just talking to them and visiting with them. So thank you once again for this amazing opportunity you've given us here. We are honored to be here with one of the community partners, Mitos. Mitos, thank you so much for joining us on It Is Written Canada.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for visiting our barangay, Sumaoy.
So Mitos, what is your role that you play as a partner with a community partner here with ADRA?
Currently, I am a member of the Co-Meal Committee of ADRA here in Sumaoy. The Co-Meal Committee conducts data gathering through surveys. We analyze all this data so that we can have a more informed understanding of the issues facing the barangay.
Mitos, tell us about your family.
I have 4 children. I'm a single parent, so it is a struggle to raise these children by myself. I have no idea where my husband is. He went to find work in Manila, and no one has heard anything from him since that day.
So, Mitos, you have no idea where your husband is? How long has he been away for?
I have no idea where my husband is. He just literally disappeared. No one has heard from him for 6 years now.
That's awful.
So no communication. What do you think happened to him?
We don't have an inkling of what happened to him. No one has heard from him, not even his own family members.
Okay.
That's terrible.
So you have 4 children.
Yes.
What ages are they?
19 and 15 and then 9 and then 7.
That is a big responsibility for you to have to raise these children, 4 young children, on your own. You don't know where your husband is.
No, mayo talaga.
It is a really big responsibility to raise these 4 children, technically as a single mom, but I have no other choice.
So you're very involved in your community here. What do you do for work? How do you gain an income?
Minsan nagtatanom ning gulaman.
I grow seaweed for market, and I also help my uncle in his business making fishing nets.
Yun.
Mitos, can you tell us about how has ADRA helped you personally over the years? Have you been a part of the Embrace project?
Ay grabe ang pagtabang talaga.
ADRA has been a wonderful help to me. The Embrace Project taught us many things about how to raise our children, how to play with our children, how to have patience, and develop good relationships with our children. The big thing that Embrace taught us was the importance of providing a balanced nutritional diet.
So, Mitos, can you tell us a little bit about your kitchen garden and how that has helped with the nutrition for your children?
Magayon ang may kitchen garden ta.
It has been a really big advantage for our family to have a kitchen garden. We don't have to worry about food. We just get our food every day from the garden. And the nice thing is that we know that our vegetables are safe to consume because we don't use any chemical fertilizers. I have even taught my children how to grow vegetables. I made sure that they understood how important vegetables are for a healthy life.
Mitos, how has ADRA helped you and some of your neighbors in concerning savings and loans? How have they helped you?
Magayon ang
ADRA's Savings and Loans Program, BOLSA as it is called, is really a great idea. We have learned how to save money, and when there is an emergency, we now have a place we can go to get a small loan.
Mitos, you were very involved with the ADRA Embrace project when they brought it here to Samaoi village. And now the Together project is here. Why did you choose to be involved in that project too?
Gusto kong maging party kang ganyan na.
The Together project is the perfect follow-up to the Embrace project. Together is teaching us strategies on how to raise our teenage children. I have 2 teens right now, and so the information that I am learning has been very helpful. But it's not just for the parents. ADRA has formed the young people of our barangay into small groups where they discuss all of the challenges of going through adolescence. There are boys groups and girls groups. They talk about everything from good hygiene to having respect for others, to avoiding teenage pregnancy and early marriage. As a single mother raising teenagers, I have often prayed to God for help. I believe that He cares for us all, that He listens, and He provides help when we need it most. In many ways, ADRA has been the answer to my prayers. I cannot tell you how thankful I am for ADRA and the Together project. Thank you, ADRA.
Mitos, I can tell that you and the village are so grateful for everything that ADRA has done for you, because we had such a warm welcome when we came in on our boats. The whole village was there with these beautiful signs welcoming us, and so it's been an honor for It Is Written Canada to join you today at your village. Thank you for having us.
And thank you also for being here. Thank you for visiting our barangay. Thank you. God bless.
Okay, so here's a lady that I would like you to meet. This is Marianne. She is involved both in Embrace and Together Project.
Hi, Marianne. My name is Mike.
I'm Marianne po Besco.
And I'm René. Nice to meet you, Marianne. Thank you so much for having us here.
Actually po, nasa Catanduanes pa ako.
I was born in this part of the Philippines on an island near here. I finished high school and went to work at a store on the mainland after I graduated. It was here that I met my husband. We dated for 3 years and then we were married when I was 24. We now have 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls. When we got pregnant with our first child, we needed to make a decision about where we would live and raise our children. The cost of living is much higher on the mainland, so we decided to move back here to Samaoi, where my husband grew up and has his family home. Here, there would be no rent, and we would be able to find much of our food from the sea. I have to say that I really like living here in Sumaoy. It is a very beautiful place to live. It is peaceful, quiet, with no pollution. You can breathe fresh air here. But on the downside, it is difficult to make a living here. My husband is a fisherman. He and a friend of his go out together because it is not safe to try and put out the nets alone. The two of them are often out most of the night. In the morning, when they return, they remove the fish and other creatures from the nets and divide up the catch. The old saying is still true. Sometimes you are lucky, and sometimes you are not so lucky. On a good night, the nets have lots of fish. On other nights, there is only enough to make a small meal for the family. Sometimes, they return empty-handed. After expenses, we would make about 2,000 pesos a month from fishing. Sometimes I would tell my husband he should go to Manila to find work to make more money, but he prefers to stay here to be with the family. ADRA has been a big help for our family. During the Embrace project, ADRA gave us training on organic gardening and provided us with seeds and tools. I started growing eggplant, mung beans, tomatoes, squash, papaya, and cassava on a small hillside farm above the flood zone of the sea. What started out as a small kitchen garden has grown into a market garden. I am now making a good income from the garden. With the profits, I am able to buy milk for the baby and things we need for our home. With the business training that we got from ADRA and a small loan, I was able to start a small bakery that brings in a steady income. One aspect of the Embrace training that has had a big impact in our home was the information we were given on gender equality and the sharing of household roles. We learned that when couples share tasks and responsibilities in the home, that it can really help the family and marriage to grow stronger. We gave it a try and found it to be true. My husband now helps out with things like washing clothes, and I am helping him mend his fishing nets. Working together and sharing tasks really does help bring people closer together. I think we both now have a much better understanding of the roles that each of us used to shoulder on our own. It has made our marriage stronger. The education that we are getting now with the Together project is all about raising teenagers. That has been a perfect timing for us, as 3 of my children right now are in their teens. As parents, we have learned a lot about how to have good lines of open communication that develop mutual respect. Together has special groups just for the youth to meet, where they learn about all of the changes that their bodies are going through and how to make positive choices for a healthy life. ADRA has taught us a lot over the years that has helped us uplift our lives. We no longer think about moving away to find a better life. We have found a better life right here, thanks to ADRA.
We have just made our way over to Elvin and Emmy's little coconut farm. And Elvin and Emmy, you have this coconut farm here. You use every part of the coconut. You just cut some down from the tree and gave them to us, pulled them down with your big hook, very strong. To be able to do that, and then you cut them open. We drank some of the water and ate some of the jelly flesh that's inside there. What's the process? What do you do here to get the coconut all cut to pieces and use every single part of it? I understand.
Ang ginigibo ko po, ayan, makawit, tapos...
First, we pull the coconuts down from the tree with a hook. Then we gather the coconuts and bring them to this shelter by a sled, pulled by a caribou. It is here that we start the process of peeling the husk from the shell. We then crack them open and cook the coconuts to make it easier to separate the coconut meat from the husk. Oil can be extracted from the meat, and we are able to sell the rest in the market. It is used primarily for feeding livestock. The husks themselves can be used to make charcoal. We use some of this charcoal in our own home for cooking and sell the rest in the market.
Okay, so Alvin, this process is hard work, but I can see that's why you're so strong, right? So, but this is a beautiful place. It is so beautiful here. You're right by the ocean. There's coconut trees, so much greenery. So tell us what you love about being here on this village.
Ay, ang nagugustuhan ko po dito.
I love this place because it is home for me. I was born here. I grew up here. It is sometimes hard to make a living here. After our expenses, we are making only about 3,000 pesos each month from our coconut farm. But this has been the family business now for 3 generations. My grandfather was the one to start working this land. I tried working in Manila as a security guard for a while, but I missed my family. When the children would get sick, they would keep asking for their papa. Sometimes life is difficult here, but through the grace of God, we are still eating and getting what we need for our daily life. I have no plans of going back to Manila. I see myself growing old here.
You know what, Alvin? I wouldn't mind growing old here either. It is so beautiful over here with the sunshine and the ocean, and so it's beautiful. What about you, Emmy? What do you love about being here on this island?
Tang primero po, garong ini pong...
When I first moved here, I was not sure that I would be able to survive here. I was not born here. I grew up in a place that was quite a bit different. But because this is where my husband is from, I decided that I would move here and raise our family here. But through the years, I have really grown to love this place. One of the things that I really like here is that the fish that we catch here is always so fresh.
Emmy, I can relate to you because I followed my husband all the way to Canada and it's become home for me too with my children. So I know how you feel. In the beginning it was really hard, but I followed you, didn't I?
You did.
All the way from South Africa.
That's right. To Canada, not to this beautiful village here
No.
in the Philippines, though. Yeah, this is very nice. So tell us about how ADRA has affected your life. How has ADRA helped you as a farmer, a coconut farmer?
Sa kuya pong, dakula pong tabang kang mag-igda ang ADRA.
ADRA has been a huge help to our family and the whole barangay. We make a point of applying everything that ADRA has taught us into everything that we do. In particular, the education of kitchen gardening has been very helpful. We no longer have to buy vegetables. We have a ready supply. We are also very thankful for the comfort room that ADRA helped us build.
In addition po, ma'am,
In addition, we are very thankful for the gardening tools and seeds that we received from ADRA. Of all of the training that ADRA has given us, the sessions that I have appreciated the most are the ones that dealt with raising children. The Embrace project started with conception, teaching us about the importance of good nutrition for the first 1,000 days, starting with the mother, through pregnancy, right after birth, and through early childhood. And now, The Together project is teaching us how to bring our children through puberty and adolescence. In our groups, we learn how to nurture positive relationships with our children through the teenage years.
So, Emmy and Alvin, it's so great that you have really embraced and you've taken everything that ADRA has brought to you here, especially with the Together project. And they've come to this remote village and helped you to learn so much and to educate you. And so I know that you are very grateful to ADRA and the work that they've done over here for you in your village and your community.
Alvin and Emmy, thank you so much for welcoming us here to your coconut farm and also for sharing with us what ADRA has done for you.
Thank you very much, Mike and René, for visiting our beautiful place, Barangay Sumaoy.
Thank you very much.
Steve and Teresa, thank you so much for bringing us to this beautiful, pristine island. Beautiful location. I mean, I'm standing out here on the beach and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I can't believe I'm here. This is like a picture. I'm living in this.
The big question I have is, why does ADRA do what it does? What is your mission in ADRA?
Well, I can answer by sharing what our purpose statement is. Our purpose is to serve humanity so all may live as God intended. And that's really why we do the work that we do. Is when you look around this world, you know, God didn't intend for people to be suffering in poverty or dealing with the many struggles, the wars, the conflicts that people go through. So ADRA is there to kind of be that those hands and feet of Christ, to be able to meet people in their time of need. Our motto is justice, compassion, love, and I just think that's just such a great way to go about the purpose of why we're here.
Thank you both, Steve and Teresa. Next time that we are going to have an ADRA episode, which will probably air in about 2 months' time, tell us where we're going to be going to.
Yeah, so we're going to the Mystery Village. So we're going to have to wait and see what that's going to be about, but I do know that there's going to be a boat ride again. Looking forward to that. Get going to the next location.
Awesome.
Friends, if you have been inspired by the mission and passion of ADRA Canada and would like to contribute to their work in the Philippines and around the world, then here's the information you need.
Before you go, we would also like to invite you to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also listen to our podcasts. And if you go to our website, you can see our latest programs.
You too can experience the fullness of life found in the words of Jesus when he said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God."
This is a drink that doesn't need to be cold to be refreshing. It's refreshing as it is.